The quadruped flexion extension spine controlled articular rotation, or CAR for short, will help you develop flexion and extension control over each vertebrae in your spine. This movement is best used to reverse age-related loss of mobility, to rehabilitate and restore spinal motion after an injury, and to improve spine health and longevity. I use the spine CAR to assess my client's level of spinal mobility, aka their active body control through the spine, and I get to see which areas of their spine are moving and which areas need improvement. If you don't have access to a qualified coach, I recommend filming yourself performing these movements and self-assessing which areas you need to work on improving mobility. Flexion extension spine CARs involve moving back and forth between the flexion and extension position as seen in this picture. In the flexion position, you're going to feel all your ab muscles engaged. In the extended position, you're going to feel all the muscles of your back and neck working hard as you're arched and contracting your spinal erectors. To get started, set up in quadruped position with your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. Press your body high away from the ground, protracting your shoulders. Maintain this position with long arms throughout the whole movement. Now to start, we want to be in the flexion position with your chin tucked and your whole spine rounded. Now untuck your pelvis, starting with your lowest vertebrae as you tilt your pubic bone towards the ground. We're going to move one vertebrae at a time up your body, sending a wave of tension as you move into extension. You're going to drop your mid-belly towards the ground and move up towards the upper abdominal region, into the sternum, and now it's going to start to feel like you're pointing your chest through the window that is created by your arms. As you get the upper chest pointing towards the wall in front of you, you're going to start to move into the cervical spine as you start to look up and release the chin tuck position. Now it's time to reverse the movement. Now it's time to move back into flexion, initiating the movement by tucking your tail or posteriorly tilting the pelvis. You will move vertebrae by vertebrae through the lower or lumbar spine, into the middle or thoracic spine, into the upper or cervical spine that makes up your neck. You will feel your lower abdominals contract intensely, then the middle and upper abs as you move into full flexion. Here's a quick picture that will let you see the various parts of your back that I'm talking about. Performing this movement with your eyes closed and visualizing flexing and extending one vertebra at a time will aid in developing movement mastery. Another way to think about flexion extension spine CARs is to visualize a wave moving through your spine. Move slowly, focusing on deep breathing and maintaining tension through your whole body so that you can restrict movement to one vertebra at a time. As you can see, my shoulders are always protracted with the blades stationary. They are not pinching together or moving towards my ears as they do when you shrug using your trapezius muscles. When first learning spinal flexion extension CARs, I recommend performing 5 reps per direction at a time and practicing as frequently as possible up to multiple times a day. Eventually, you can drop to 2 to 3 reps per direction and perform these 1 to 2 times a week to maintain mobility. Now let's take a look at performing this movement when initiating from the cervical spine or neck. Now you will initiate the movement from your neck or cervical spine. You should feel the tension created from moving into extension through your neck, then your upper thoracic back, your thoracic mid-back, then into your lumbar spine, and finally your lower lumbar spine. Anecdotally, with myself and my clients, I've found initiating spine flexion extension CARs from their neck to be more difficult. I recommend performing reps initiated from the tailbone before trying reps initiated from the neck. Performing both variations per session is recommended on a case-by-case basis. Some people will do best with breaking the spine up into smaller components, though these smaller components go beyond the scope of this video. If this is your first time performing spine flexion extension CARs from the neck, perform these in each direction 5 times. Over time, you can drop the reps and go on maintenance mode. Exact prescriptions, as usual, will depend on your needs and which areas need additional work. Because these two variations of spinal CARs are so similar, I'm going to spend the rest of the video telling you about mistakes to watch for in the video you take of yourself from a side profile. When reviewing video footage, you should watch for dead zones that have no flexion or extension occurring. These areas may need special drills or improved mental focus when performing your spinal flexion-extension CARs. Look for sequencing issues. Only one part of the back should be flexing or extending at a time. The movement should occur in a sequential order, tailbone to neck or neck to tailbone, depending on which variation you are working on. If a large section of the back moves at one time, Houston, we have a problem. Remember, we are trying to move one vertebra at a time. When moving into extension, look for your shirt to sequentially ripple and bunch up. If an area does not bunch up, you are not getting extension through that area. Avoid these common compensations. Reaching forward with your neck rather than flexing and rounding each vertebra of the neck. Shrugging your shoulders into your ear or pinching your shoulders together as you drop your chest towards the ground. This is a compensation that makes up for an inability to flex through the upper back. Bending the arms is another way to get around flexing through the upper back. This wraps up the Spine Flexion-Extension CAR video. Remember, our modern lifestyle has disconnected us from our bodies. It is paramount that you learn how to control your body on a fundamental level. Otherwise, any fitness program will lead to new problems because you did not acquire foundational movement skills. If you found this video useful, please like the video and share with your friends. Thank you.